There is a football club in North London that spent over 20 years being told it was falling behind. 20 years of watching others spend, others sign, others win. The neighbours moved to a new ground. The rivals bought Galacticos. The rules changed and the money moved. And Arsenal, it seemed, were always one step away, always one step short, always the beautiful game without the brutal result. And then Mikel Arteta arrived and something shifted. Not overnight, it's never overnight, but quietly, methodically. The way great things are actually built, not in a single transfer window, not with one brilliant signing, but brick by brick, belief by belief, season by season. And now, in the spring of 2026, the red and white flag flies again over the Premier League champions of England. And standing at the door of the greatest club competition in the world, they said Arsenal were the museum piece, a relic of a better era. What they didn't check was the balance sheet. Let's talk about the money, because this story isn't just about football. It's about what happens when sporting success and financial architecture combines at the exact right moment. According to the Times, Arsenal are set to generate up to 770 million in revenue this season. 770 million pounds in a single year. That shattered the existing Premier League revenue record, Manchester City's 715 million in 2023-2024, by over 50 million pounds. And it could place Arsenal inside the top 3 richest football clubs on earth alongside Real Madrid and Manchester City. Let that sink in. A club that had a revenue of around 367 million just 5 years ago is now approaching double that figure. So the question is how? Where does 770 million actually come from? And more importantly, what does it mean for what Arsenal can build next? Football club revenue comes from 3 main sources. Think of them as 3 rivers flowing into one lake. River 1, broadcasting. The Premier League's domestic and international TV deals are split between all 20 clubs, but not equally. A title-winning club receives a significant larger merit payment. Add in the Champions League, where prize money alone reaches 100 to 120 million, depending on how deep you go. And broadcasting is by far the biggest stream. Arsenal's run to the Champions League final this season doesn't just mean glory. It means approximately 80 to 100 million in UEFA prize money before they've kicked the ball in the final itself. Win it, add another 20 million. River 2, commercial. Shirt deals, sleeve sponsors, stadium naming rights, boot deals, club partnerships across every major global market. Arsenal's Adidas kit deal reportedly is worth around 60 to 70 million per year. It's one of the most valuable in England. Their shirt sponsorship with Emirates has been renewed. Their global brand value has been transformed by success. Because commercial partnerships pay for eyeballs, and the Champions League finalists generates eyeballs from every corner of the earth. River 3, match day. The Emirates holds just over 60,000 fans, sold out, every home game. Ticket prices at the upper end of the Premier League scale. Champions League nights at home are premium matchday events. Hospitality packages, corporate boxes, fan experience, that commands 4-figure prices. Arsenal's matchday revenue is estimated around 100 million this season, one of the highest in English football. 3 rivers, one very large lake, 770 million. Here's something that gets lost in most football financial conversations. Success doesn't just generate revenue, it compounds revenue. When Arsenal finished 5th in the Premier League in 2020 and 2021, they were outside the Champions League. No UCL prize money, no UCL matchday income, reduced commercial leverage because sponsors don't pay premium rates for a club that isn't on Tuesday nights in Europe. Their revenue that year was approximately 367 million. Then Arteta rebuilt. The squad got younger, more dynamic, more expensive to assemble, but also more valuable on the pitch and on the balance sheet. The commercial partnership noticed. The global fan base re-engaged. The streaming numbers went up. The shirt numbers went up. Each season of the Champions League football adds roughly 80 to 100 million to the revenue baseline. Each title winning season adds commercial value that compounds into the next deal cycle. Arteta didn't just build a squad, he rebuilt the financial architecture of the club. And critically, unlike some rivals, Arsenal have done this within the financial fair play constraints. The Kroenke ownership, whatever fans think of it personally, has not gone down the state-backed spending route. There is no oil money, no sovereign wealth fund, no government writing checks behind the scenes. Arsenal's wage to revenue ratio is reportedly around 32%, one of the most sustainable figures in the entire top six. That means for every pound of revenue coming in, only 32% goes to wages. The rest is available for reinvestment. When the rules tighten, and UEFA and the Premier League are both tightening their screws on financial compliance, the clubs with clean books have the most freedom to act. Arsenal are in that position. Most of their rivals are not. Let's put £770 million in global context. The Deloitte Football Money League, the annual ranking of the world's richest clubs by revenue, has been dominated by the same names for years. Real Madrid, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Barcelona. Real Madrid topped the 2023 to 2024 tables of approximately €830 million. At £770,000 million, roughly €900 million at current exchange rates, Arsenal don't just enter that conversation, they potentially lead it. That would be a seismic shift in the world of football financial landscape. Arsenal would become the first English club since Manchester United in the early 2000s to sit at the very summit of the global club football financial rankings. But here's the caveat, and coin and context always shows you the full picture. Revenue is not profit. Revenue is not free cash. A 770 million revenue club still has to pay wages. Arsenal's wage bill is estimated around £230 to £250 million per year. Debt services, infrastructure costs, transfers, these consume significant portions of revenue before a single pound reaches the owner's pocket or the transfer kitty. The question for Arsenal isn't whether they're rich. They clearly are. The question is, can they convert that revenue into a sustainable competitive advantage that keeps the cycle going? And the Champions League final is the single most important variable in answering that question. If Arsenal win the Champions League final, the financial snowball doesn't just continue, it accelerates. Immediate prize money, an additional 20 million on top of the run's earnings. Commercial reset. Every sponsorship deal up for renewal gets renegotiated from the position of champions of Europe. Shirt deals, sleeve deals, global partnerships across Asia, North America, the Middle East. Every number goes up because winning the Champions League is the most powerful brand signal in world football. Player valuations. The market value of every Arsenal first team player increases. Saka, Martinelli, Havertz, Rice, all of them become more expensive for rivals to purchase, and all of them become easier to keep because Arsenal becomes a more compelling destination for the world's best players. Global broadcast exposure. The Champions League final is watched by an estimated 500 million people worldwide. For context, that's significantly more than the Super Bowl USA audience. This is not a football audience, this is a global brand moment. Manchester United won the Champions League in 1999 and spent the following decade as the world's most commercially powerful football club. Their revenue went from 110 million to over 400 million in 10 years, almost entirely driven by the brand multiplier effect of the single European night. Arsenal winning in 2026 would trigger a similar multiplier. Different era, bigger numbers, same principle. Here is the coin and context takeaway. Arsenal's financial story is a masterclass in what happens when you build correctly within your means. And the sporting success amplifies everything. They didn't buy their way back to relevance. Manchester City, Chelsea, Newcastle, those are examples of capital injection changing a club's trajectory overnight. Hundreds of millions from owners who can absorb losses indefinitely. Arsenal's rebuild was different: structural, coaching philosophy, youth development, smart recruitment, financial discipline, and a painful season of transition. The reward for doing it the hard way is that the revenue base, when arrives, is earned rather than injected. It compounds on real commercial value rather than owner subsidy. It is, for want for a better word, real. The risk, and there is always risk, is complacency. Revenue records do not automatically win Premier League titles next season. The clubs below Arsenal have patient owners with very deep pockets. The cycle of investment continues around them. But for now, the numbers are extraordinary. The football has been extraordinary. And the Emirates Stadium, full to the roof, watching the Champions League final, having won the title, that is compound interest on a decade of patience, intelligent building. Arsenal are not a museum piece. They are right now one of the most financially powerful, sporting relevant clubs on earth. And it only took them 20 years. I'll be straight with you. I'm a big Arsenal fan. So take the Peter Drury intro for what it is. But the numbers don't lie. 770 million, potentially top 3 in the world. A Champions League final, built without a state backer, without a billionaire writing blank checks, without shortcuts. That's the financial story, and it's genuinely a great one. Subscribe for more every week. The money behind the moment that matters. And if Arsenal lift the trophy, you already know there's a follow-up to this episode coming.